Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to a special live recap of both WWE Smackdown and AEW Rampage for Friday, January 21st, 2022. Shout out to everybody watching this, whether it's live or on demand. I appreciate your viewership and support. Feel free to leave your comments in the chat room, and if you enjoy this video, please give it a like and spread the word. We'll start off with SmackDown and then we'll get to Rampage. We kicked off SmackDown with the tag team champions, the Usos, and they were there to celebrate the longest reigning Universal Champion of all time, the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. I have to say, Pat McAfee was just hilarious as Roman Reigns was coming down to the ring. Reigns got into the ring, and then a video package was shown of Reigns' dominant run as champion for the 504 days, however long it's been. But then Seth freaking Rollins was there to spoil the party, said that Reigns' title run is about to end. Rollins talked about how the Usos do all the dirty work for him. The Usos, according to Rollins, are basically the guys that are holding up Reigns, just like he did along with Mox back in the days of the Shield. So yes, Seth Rollins did make a reference to Jon Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose. Did not use the Dean Ambrose name, but rather Mox. And then Reigns responded by asking if John Cena wrote Rollins' promo. Rollins decided to issue a challenge. Himself and a tag team partner against the Usos, and if Rollins won, the Usos would be banned from ringside. The Usos accepted this, but then it was revealed that Kevin Owens would be Rollins' tag team partner for this match. Reigns was not amused and said that he was making the final decision and he would only agree to the match if the stakes were raised. If Rollins and Owens lost, Rollins would forfeit his title match at the Royal Rumble, and Rollins would not be going for the title at all. Reigns would be taking a vacation until WrestleMania. Rollins did accept the terms. Hamp Connell sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you very much for that, Hamp. I appreciate it. Says, Aaron, I think you're awesome and I want to be your friend because I don't have that many friends at school. Is that supposed to be an Eric Cartman reference? I'm not sure if it is or not, but thank you for that, Hamp. I appreciate it. Moving on here, we had Kofi Kingston versus Madcap Moss, which I could have sworn was a match that took place last week. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But yeah, I think Madcap Moss beat him last week, and I mentioned how it was ridiculous that Kofi Kingston, the former WWE champion, would be losing to Madcap Moss. But anyways, this week, Kofi had somebody in his corner. Since Happy Corbin was out there, Kofi Kingston had Big E in his corner from Monday Night Raw. Michael Cole mentioned how since it's Royal Rumble season, people from Raw are appearing on SmackDown. I guess this means on Raw we'll see people from SmackDown appearing on Raw. The Superstar brand-to-brand initiative, or whatever the hell it's called. They didn't actually say that. They just said, hey, it's Royal Rumble season, so people are just going to show up on whatever show. Okay, whatever. Anyways, Kofi had the early momentum, but then Happy Corbin got on the apron, helped Moss gain the upper hand, but then Big E evened the odds. He attacked Happy Corbin, and Kofi got back in the zone and got his win back over Madcap Moss. And then after the match was over, Corbin got in the ring, but so did Big E. Corbin fled, and then Big E took out Moss with the big ending. Yeah, 50-50 booking, whatever. Kofi Kingston gets his win back, whatever. We then had Natalya versus Aaliyah, which, again, rematch from last week. Aaliyah got the record, pinning Natalya in a little over 3 seconds, whatever it was. And the funniest part, maybe the funniest thing on this entire show, Summer Rae was there at ringside, and they referred to her as a WWE legend. Yes, a legend. Summer Rae, WWE legend, ladies and gentlemen. I guess she's a future Hall of Famer, Summer Rae, who danced with Fandango and had a feud with Natalya on Total Divas. Hall of Fame worthy material right there, ladies and gentlemen. So anyways, Aaliyah attempted the same roll-up, but she was not successful in beating Natalya in 3 seconds. And then Natalya got DQ'd for stomping at Aaliyah in the corner and not breaking the referee's 5 count. Whatever. They should just change this show to whatever, because that's what it was. And afterwards, Natalya kept attacking her. Xia Li is back after being gone for like 4 or 5 weeks, and she's got all the cool effects again, and she ran off Aaliyah. She is the protector of SmackDown, except for like the 4 or 5 weeks where she wasn't protecting. But she's back now. So, whoopee. And by the way, they are now referring to WrestleMania as the most stupendous event. That's their buzzword. Stupendous. You're going to hear it 500 times now between tonight and WrestleMania. The most stupendous event in WWE history. Pat McAfee had a dictionary. Bless Pat McAfee. He somewhat saved this ridiculous buzzword usage by bringing out a dictionary and talking about all of the words that mean stupendous. I mean, this guy really deserves a raise, because he could take the lamest thing and make it at least somewhat entertaining. We had Los Lotharios versus the Viking Raiders. I guess technically not a rematch, because it was a fatal 4-way tag match last week that they were all in, and this was just 2-on-2. It was a glorified squash. Viking Raiders won with the Viking experience. Cool. I mean, I think they're the number 1 contenders, right? I don't even remember at this point. I believe they won last week. Yeah, they did win. Heb Connell sent in another $5 super chat. Says, Aaron, even you can go into the Hall of Fame if you tell Vince McMahon he's a genius and AEW and TNA sucks. Well, let's not get carried away here. Vince will only induct you if you've kissed enough ass, and I guess I'm not willing to do that. And saying AEW sucks or TNA sucks, that's not going to cut it. You got to do more as far as the ass kissing goes if you really want to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. We then had Charlotte Flair versus Naomi. I'll give you 3 guesses as to how this went down. If one of your guesses involved Sonya Deville interfering, then you win, because that's exactly what happened here. Sonya Deville took over as the referee. You knew exactly how this was going to go down. It's Groundhog Day in WWE. It's the same storyline. They just keep dragging this thing out week after week. Sonya got inadvertently knocked out of the ring. Naomi hit the rear view, had the match won, but Sonya did not even bother to get back in the ring. And then Charlotte came from behind with a chop block, put on the figure 4, and Sonya Deville immediately called for the bell. Pat McAfee said, "What in the Bret Hart is going on?" Other than, again, Pat McAfee, his line was the only redeeming thing about this match. Pat McAfee, the guy can make things entertaining, but yeah, I'm so over this storyline. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $5 super chat, says, "I wouldn't be surprised if Sonya Deville wins the match at WrestleMania. Just turn Naomi heel and have her join the bloodline already." I'm with you, Psycho Jet Black. I'm going to be saying this for probably years now. I want Naomi to go heel and be in the bloodline. I don't want to see this feud with Sonya Deville. Let's end it, please. Move on. Get her in the bloodline. What are we waiting for here? Why is this dragging out? I'm tired of it. I want Naomi in the bloodline, and I will be saying this next week. I will say it in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, in 4 weeks, in 5 weeks, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Hell, probably 52 weeks from now. Next Royal Rumble. Next year's WrestleMania in Los Angeles. I just want it to happen. Come on now. Give the people what they want. And that's Naomi as a heel getting a main event push with the bloodline. Simple. It doesn't take rocket science to figure out what to do here. What are they waiting for? Jeez. Walter Cruz with a $5 super chat says, "Are they about to repeat Daniel Bryan where Naomi wins the Royal Rumble but has to beat Sonya Deville in the first match and get the title at night one main event?" Dude, do not give them ideas, please, because they might end up doing that. I mean, right now it feels like a watered down Steve Austin versus Mr. McMahon storyline, and then they may transition it to a watered down Daniel Bryan. Now I'm going the other way. Now I'm saying Bryan Danielson when I meant to say Daniel Bryan. But yeah, I don't want them to rehash the Authority versus the fan favorite that's getting screwed. I want Naomi to go heel. And Psycho Jet Black with the $2 super chat says, "I thought you said Brocket Science. LOL." Brocket Science? You might have an idea there for Braun Breaker. Instead of Steiner Math, you got Braun Breaker Science. That might be an interesting idea. Better than anything that they can come up with on this show. I'll tell you that much. We then had Sami Zayn come into the ring for another jackass-like segment, the Insane Self-Defense. And by the way, Kid Rock was there at ringside, big celebrity like 20 years ago. But hey, if you can get any celebrity, whether he was popular 30 years ago or 20 years ago, if you can get him on camera, then I guess more power to WWE. And Sami Zayn was going to test some weapons on himself because that's what the guys on Jackass did. And he had this cattle prod type object and he was shocking himself with it, acting like he was hurt. Johnny Knoxville then arrived. Johnny Knoxville, the expert on weapons and hurting yourself, realized that Sami Zayn was full of crap. Sami Zayn never turned on the shocker, the cattle prod. So Johnny Knoxville turned it on and he zapped Sami Zayn. This was like something straight out of 1992 when the Mountie would shock people and you had that really over-the-top sound effect. This is basically what it was. And then Johnny Knoxville dumped over Sami Zayn. Whatever. Again, whatever for like the 5th time of the evening. Dr. NXT Scorpio, NXT 2.0 Scorpio, with a $2 super chat says, "I thought SmackDown tonight was stupendous." Yeah, stupendous, all right. Hamp Connell with a $5 super chat. Thank you for that, Hamp. Says, "Why would they give us that when they can give us a contract signing? Why do you keep suggesting things that I do not want to see? Don't even mention contract signing. Do not put it out there in the universe because they're probably going to do it next Friday night. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins contract signing. Save this clip. Literally, go on YouTube and cut this clip. Find a website that does it because next Friday night, I think they're going to do a contract signing. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong on that and they do not do it. I will be impressed. I will go on the record and say I will be impressed if there's no contract signing on either Raw or SmackDown next week. I will give WWE props next Saturday night for the Royal Rumble review video. I will give WWE props if they do not do a contract signing next week. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, the only thing that's shocking is the Shock Master. That and Ricochet actually winning a match on WWE television. There you go. So moving on here, we had a random or a wild Eric Bischoff appear backstage with Adam Pearce. I have no idea what the point of this was. Doesn't Eric Bischoff live in Wyoming? Why is he in Nashville, Tennessee? But yeah, Eric Bischoff was on this show pretty much for no reason. He was just chatting with Adam Pearce. Sonya Deville showed up, and Pearce said that what she did was completely over the line. And next week, he's going to make Sonya Deville face Naomi in a one-on-one match. Yawn. Like, it's gotten to the point where I don't even believe there's going to be a match. Are they really going to do a match the night before the Royal Rumble? And they've been teasing this for months now, and I just don't care. It's gotten past the point of me caring, and I don't think they're going to do a match. I think they're going to screw us. And the surprise would be if next week they actually do a legitimate match. And even that's a bad idea because they spent all this time. They might as well just do it at the Royal Rumble. So, yeah, I don't know what the hell they're doing here, nor do I care. Well, I kind of feel like there's going to be another screw job. Although the one time that I think there's going to be a screw job, that'll be when they actually do a real match. Clayton, the Specialist Williams, sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. It says, do you see Sami Zayn getting the IC title this year? He might as well because they ain't doing jack with Shinsuke Nakamura. He's just standing around every week. Apparently he did suffer an injury, but still, like, they're not doing anything. They haven't been doing anything with him as champion. It's literally a prop. They could have him defend the title and try to make the title mean something, but nope. And we'll get to Nakamura here and Rick Boogs in just a second. Next up, we had Sheamus with the returning Ridge Holland. Good to see him back. Glad he's okay. Sheamus and Ridge Holland at ringside. Sheamus versus Ricochet. And I did not care about this match. I had little to no interest in this match because, like I said the other week, Sheamus beat Ricochet and Cesaro 2-on-1 at day one after Ridge Holland got taken out. You can never do Sheamus versus Ricochet or Sheamus versus Cesaro 1-on-1 again because Sheamus beat them both 2-on-1. There's no point in a 1-on-1 match after Sheamus beat both of them by himself. So I had no interest in this whatsoever. Total time filler. And Ricochet did a few things. Ricochet did a dive, got caught with a knee, and then in the ring, Sheamus won with the brogue kick. So 100% no shocker, 100% time filler. Did nothing to advance any storylines. You just got Ridge Holland back. That's really the only thing I got out of this. Ridge Holland is back, which I'm happy for. And then we had Jeff Jarrett. At least this cameo appearance made sense because they were in Nashville, Tennessee, Jeff Jarrett country. Eric Bischoff just being in Nashville made no sense. Jeff Jarrett was... Hold on a second. Need to take a little break here. Jeff Jarrett was with Rick Boogs and Shinsuke Nakamura, the reigning and not defending Intercontinental Champion. And Jeff Jarrett praised Rick Boogs, said he's a great musician, he plays a mean guitar, and they talked about the spelling of the names. It was cute, whatever, another whatever. And then we had the main event, which was the Usos versus Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. tag team match. If the Usos won, Rollins would lose his shot at the Royal Rumble. And if Owens and Rollins won, then the Usos would be banned from ringside. On commentary, once again, Mox was mentioned. Pat McAfee brought up how the Shield members have changed over the years, and Pat McAfee said Mox instead of Moxley or Dean Ambrose. 2 Mox references on one show. Interesting. I really don't think it means anything, but hey, they mentioned him, so that's something, I guess, a sign of respect, perhaps. I mean, obviously, they would not reference him without it being approved. Seth Rollins would not say it without Vince giving it the okay. So I guess they got that respect for Jon Moxley, aka Dean Ambrose. Anyways, we had this match and it was good. Usos were the heels. Rollins and Owens were the baby faces in this match. And the crowd was behind Rollins. They're doing the choir humming to his song. Rollins got a hot tag. Owens hit a stunner to Jey Uso. And then Rollins hit the stomp to Jimmy, was on the verge of winning. But then Roman Reigns interfered with a Superman punch, causing a disqualification. And I guess that technically means that the Usos are banned from ringside at the pay-per-view. What does this mean for my predictions? Well, you guys will have to tune in Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Before NXT, we'll be doing the No DQ predictions video for the 2022 Royal Rumble. And that was SmackDown, everybody. Kind of a filler show. It was entertaining sometimes, and I credit Pat McAfee for really making the show seem more exciting than it really was. But yeah, a lot of filler on this show, rematches, and just kind of keeping things in a holding pattern until the Royal Rumble. I mean, I would say this is a show that I do not recommend. It was okay, but very skippable, in my opinion. Dr. NXT Scorpio sent in a $2 super chat, says, Uso's going to interfere anyways, banned or not. I mean, this is definitely a possibility that the Usos show up anyways, but we'll see. Anything's possible. But yeah, when they tease the idea that Reigns is in trouble, his title reign is in jeopardy, kind of makes you think he's going to retain. Hamp Connell sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you, Hamp. Says, what would your career be if not wrestling? Man, I don't even want to think about that one. It could have been any number of things. Maybe an Uber driver, maybe doing some kind of different video editing. Who knows? I would probably give this show a C-. C- at best. It was definitely a below average SmackDown. Psycho Jet Black sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that, Psycho. Says, Brock shows up and screws Roman out of the title. We'll see. I mean, people have been talking about that. They've been talking about Roman possibly screwing Brock out of the title. I have a different opinion, but you guys will have to wait until Tuesday for that prediction. Now, we ended SmackDown with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. And then we went over to AEW Rampage on TNT, and we kicked off that show with Jon Moxley. So the Shield is reigning supreme in 2022. Jon Moxley comes out to kick off Rampage, and he faced off against Ethan Page. Don't call him Adam Page. Don't call him Diamond Dallas Page. His name is Ethan, the all-ego man, Page. And he sent Scorpio Sky to the back. He's a man that he's an honest man. He wants a fair fight here against Jon Moxley, and he did pretty well for himself. This was a competitive match, as they would call it. Paige worked over the knee for a while. Moxley made a comeback, but then Paige hit a top rope power slam. Moxley, however, countered that with elbows to the face, put Paige in a bulldog choke, and Paige passed out. He passed out, did not tap out. So Paige, a man of honor here. He did not have his man Scorpio Sky interfere, and he passed out instead of tapping out. Could we see a face turn from young Ethan Page? Perhaps. Pretty good match here. Afterwards, Moxley laid him out with a paradigm shift. And then Moxley left through the fans, but then he ran into Bryan Danielson, who we have not seen since he lost to Adam Page a few weeks back. And Danielson was applauding him. And I guess we get a little tease now. Maybe we'll see Bryan Danielson versus Jon Moxley, which I believe was going to happen before Moxley went into rehab. And this will be a fun one to see. But who's going to be the face and who's going to be the heel? I suppose Danielson will stay heel for this one. Initially, I thought that Moxley was going to go heel, but I feel like there's no way you can turn that guy heel now after coming back from rehab. The people are just so behind the guy, and I don't think it'll work. Next up, we had Nick Jackson versus Trent Beretta. Rocky Romero was supposed to be teaming up with Trent, but he got COVID-19, so they changed it to a singles match. Matt Jackson, Brandon Cutler, they were all there at ringside. The Best Friends came out with Trent, but they went to the back, and there was a little moment where Wheeler Yuta went for a fist bump, and Trent did not give him one. I guess a little dissension between them. And this was a very competitive back and forth match between these guys. They've been fighting for years. There was a video package on Dynamite showing their history going back to New Japan Pro Wrestling. They kept hitting big moves. Neither guy could put the other one away. Nick Jackson was using the referee as a shield at one point. Nick hit a destroyer. Trent kicked out of that. And Trent hit a pile driver. Nick kicked out of that. And then Trent was back body dropped on the ramp. Nick hit a swanton to the outside onto the ramp, hit a 450 splash, but Trent kicked out of that. And then finally, Trent hit the strong zero out of nowhere and picked up the 1-2-3 victory over Nick Jackson. And this was a very good match. Very good match. I enjoyed it. No complaints. Then we had Hook versus Serpentico. Hook has been this internet sensation. The people love the guy. Am I on? My video went off for a second. Anyways, we had Hook versus Serpentico. Hook is an internet sensation. And my wife was watching this, Caitlin, and this was her first time seeing Hook. And her first impression of him, and I quote, "He's scrawny." She wasn't a big fan of the hair. I asked if he's hot, and her response was, "He's a douche." That's what she thought about Hook. Hook beat up Serpentico, threw him around, put on the Taz mission, got the win, or the Hook mission, whatever they're calling it. And afterwards, QT Marshall came out on the stage and called out Hook, and then Hook suplexed him on the stage and literally walked over his body. So yeah, they're trying to capitalize on Hook's internet popularity. Guy's got a unique look. He's all right. He's got some potential. We'll see how things go. All the hookers love him. And he's got that swag, I guess. But yeah, my wife was not impressed. And she's a casual viewer of AEW. Not sure what that says about your people outside of the core fan base, if she's a proper representation of your average fan and what they think of Hook. But we'll see. Maybe Hook will amount to something at some point. We then had our main event of the evening, Jade Cargill, the TBS champion, versus Anna Jay. They did the little pre-match promo with Mark Henry, and it was okay. Jade was trash talking. That almost caused her downfall. You had John Silver out there. You had smart Mark Sterling out there, and they were arguing with each other. They were trying to provide distractions, and Anna Jay took advantage. She got the upper hand for a while, but then smart Mark got on the apron again, and John Silver suplexed him on the floor. Anna put on a submission, but Jade was able to power up to her feet. She hit the one-arm power bomb and got the win with the Jaded. Match was fine. Apparently, the hook submission is called the Red Rum, like The Shining, I suppose. And the main event was all right. Nothing special. You know, it's funny how they call it the main event, but it's usually the opening segment of Rampage that does the biggest number just because people want to go to bed and they don't really want to stay up till midnight. But you look at those numbers, they typically go down as the show goes on. So is it really the main event if it's the least watched segment of the evening? Just wondering. Martin with a $5 super chat says, who is your most favorite AEW female competitor, if you don't mind me asking? Well, I have no problem answering that. It's not like you're asking me like who's the hottest or something. I'm a big fan of Thunder Rosa, and I want to see her versus Britt Baker. Their big rematch from that Lights Out match. They've really been slow building to that one, but yeah, I want to see Thunder Rosa be the one to dethrone Britt Baker for the title, whether they do it at Revolution or maybe even later than that. Thunder Rosa, I think, should be the next champ. That's my thoughts on that. And I agree with Gary Joe. Best thing was the Trent and Nick Jackson match. Other than that, you know, it was a fun show. It flies by very quickly, 1 hour show. And I would say it was better than SmackDown. So I would say somewhat recommend. Definitely check out the Nick Jackson Trent match. Everything else you could probably skip. You know, Hook is Hook, does his thing. You know, you either like him or you hate him at this point. But I do suppose there is potential with the kid. And that's it, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in late night on a Friday night. I appreciate it. Again, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, tell a friend, spread the word, and stay tuned to NoDQ.com. We got a lot of posts up on the site. If you missed the Jon Moxley references, you can check the videos out over on NoDQ.com. Take it easy, everybody. Have a great weekend. And stay tuned. Next week, we got Royal Rumble predictions. Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Take care, everybody. And I will see you all next time.